So welcome to 11.4, the third day of factoring trinomials. Now we're going to do the hard ones. What? Yes. All right, so let's review. All right, we need two numbers that multiply to make 14 there. And we know they're going to both start with x, right? Because it's x squared there. And we know that the symbols are going to be the same because that's a plus, but they're both going to be minuses because that's a minus. And I think it's going to be 2 and 7 because 2 times 7 is 14, and negative 2 plus negative 7 is negative 9. So this one over here, we know they both start with x. We know we have one of each, one minus and one plus. We know we need more of the minus. So I think this is minus 7, but I think this is plus 2. Oops, I forgot the x there. Yeah, so that's the correct one. Now, so what we're going to do today is this coefficient here is no longer 1. So if you have 3x squared, right, the only way to make 3x squared is with 3x and x, right? There's no other way. And so we're going to have to start with 3x and x. We're going to have to remember the patterns we've learned, right? That's a plus and that's a plus. So these are both pluses. And so we're going to have to figure out where to put the 1 and 5. Now your diamond is not going to work anymore on these today, all right? It's more, you have to, it's the same thought process, but it's more complicated. Now if you want to look it up, there's a thing called the snowflake, and you can have 6 different spots. But filling in all those 6 spots, it's a method, but it's slow. I prefer just guessing, doing your best. If you've understood the last 2 lessons, guessing and checking is better than the snowflake. But if you want to Google the snowflake method of factoring, you will find a method. Okay, so the coefficient is not of x squared is not 1. So we have 2x squared. What does that mean? This has to be 2x, right? One of them has to be 2x and one of them has to be x. Now, what else do we know? We know that's a plus and that's a plus, so these are both pluses. So all we need to know is the factors of 3. Well, what are the factors of 3? Now, they're 1 and 3, so we have to figure out, we have to guess which one of those would be 1 and which one of these would be 3, right? So I'm going to do it intentionally wrong here, so don't copy me. If I put 3 and 1 that way, right, I get the 2x times x, I'm foiling, 2x squared. The outer would be 2x. The inner would be 3x, and I would get 5x in the middle, but I don't want 5x in the middle. I need 7 in the middle. So it must, there's only 2 possibilities, so it must, since that was wrong, and this will happen to you, if that's the wrong one, then the other way must be the right way, right? 2x times x, 2x squared. I'm going to FOIL. This is the first one. All right, outer, 2x times 3, 6x. Inner, 1x. 1 times 3, 3. Yeah, and so checks out, it's 2x plus 1 times x plus 3. All right, so let's try another one. All right, so we have a 2x squared, so it must be 2x and x. It's plus plus, so it has to be plus plus. And again, it's 1 and 3, and in fact, it's the other one, right? So this must be 2x plus 3 and x plus 1. Right? If you FOIL it, and on a test, I would absolutely FOIL these to double check them. 2x times x, 2x squared, outer, 2x, inner, 3x. Those do add up to that middle 5x you need, and it checks out 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Okay, so let's keep trying. So 2x squared again. So it's going to start out 2x and x. It's plus and plus, so they're both plus. And now we need a 5. So it's 1 and 5. And we've got to make 11 in the middle. All right, so I'm going to try 5 there and 1 there, right? Because I get 2x times 5, 10x, and I get 1x in the middle. That's the correct one. But if you do it the other way, if you do 2x plus 5 and x plus 1, you will get 7x in the middle, not 11x. So let me erase that. All right, so this is 3x squared. So this one has to start with 3x and x. And we have it's both plus. And so we have to figure out where the 2 goes. Well, we have to get 5x in the middle. Let's see, 3x times x, 3x squared. Outer 3x, inner 2x. Those add up to 5x. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, we have 2x squared. So one starts with 2x, one starts with x. Now, this is a plus, but this is a minus. So that means both of these are minuses. Okay. So now we have to figure out where the 1 and, right, the only way to make 3 is 1 and 3. So where does the 3 go? Where does the 1 go? I think it goes this way, 2x minus 1 times x minus 3. Yeah, that will get us negative 7x in the middle. Right, 5x squared. So one of them has to be 5x, one of them has to be x. This is plus, so they're both the same, and they're both the same, and they're both minus here. So again, we have to figure out where the 1 goes and where the 5 goes to make that 5. And we need negative 26 in the middle. I think it's this way. Right? If I FOIL that, I get 5x squared, negative 25x minus x. Negative, I get the negative 26. Yes, this is the right one. 5x minus 1, x minus 5. Okay, now the really hard ones. Okay, because that's a minus. So what does that mean? So we have a 5x and an x. But one of these is plus and one of these is minus, and we don't know which one until we try them. Right? Now we know this is 1 and 3, but we don't know which is the negative and which is the positive. Right? So remember, we have to turn this 5 and this 1 and this, right, this 5 and this 1 that you're not seeing, and this 1 and this 3 from 3, and make them all into 2. All right? So let's try something, okay? So I'm going to intentionally do it wrong. So let's say I put the 3 here and the 1 here, and I make this plus and I make that minus. This is not right. Because if you FOIL that, you get 5x squared plus 15x, right? And once you see that, wow, I'm way off, because there's the inner, like that would get 14x in the middle, although it would get the negative 3. So then let's try this way, minus 3 plus 1. Let's try that. FOIL, you get, let me go back and get that one, 5x squared plus 5x for the outer minus 3x minus 3. Yeah, you get 2x in the middle. This is the right one. I know the next problem popped up. I will deal with that in a sec. But that's the right combination. 5x minus 3x plus 1. So there's more guessing and checking. There's actually 4 possibilities you could check. You could get 3 wrong, right? But there's no more than 4 possibilities. It's not an infinite amount of possibilities. All right, so 2x squared. So it's got to start with 2x and x. Now 35. That could be 1 and 35, but we got a 9 here, right? We don't have a 34 or a 36, right? So it's probably not that, right? But 5 times 7 is there, and that is probably more likely. Okay, we have a 2 here though, and somehow one of these is plus, one of these is minus, and we need more of the minus. And I'm going to try x minus 7 and x plus 5. Let's try that. 2x squared, outer negative 14x, inner 5x minus 35. Negative 14 plus 5x, negative 9x. That was the right factors. It checks out. 2x plus 5, x minus 7. All right, so we have a 2x squared. We're going to start with 2x and x. 7 has to be 1 and 7, but we don't know which one's the minus and which one's the plus. But I'm going to do plus 7 there and minus 1 there. Let's see, 2x times x, 2x squared. I'm checking these. 2x times 7, 14x, minus 1x, the inner minus 7. Yes, it's 2x squared plus 13x minus 7. It checks out. Here we have a 3x. That's a very sloppy 3x, and x, and 11, right? The only way to make 11 is 1 and 11. And remember when I said about the one up there, we have 32 in here. So this might be where 1 and 11 makes sense. Well, there is only one. So one of these has to be 11. I'm going to put it there, and the 1 here, and it's negative 32. So I'm going to put the minus there, so I get negative 33x. So 3x times x, 3x squared, outer minus 33x, inner plus x minus 11, and it's 3x squared minus 32x minus 11. It checks out. 3x plus 1, x minus 11. All right, so let's practice all these. All right, so here we have 11x and x, they're both plus, so these are both plus. So we're just deciding where the 1 and the 3 go. This is not hard. This is 1, right? It's 33x. That is the only combination that works. 11x plus 1 times x plus 3. All right, 13. The only way to make 13 is 13 times 1. So we have that. That's a plus, so they're the same, but these are minuses. So these are both minuses now, right? This has to be 1 and 5. So, you know, if I put the 5 out here, I'm going to get 5 times 13, which is 65. I don't think that's going to be helpful. Let's try 5 there and 1 there. 13x times x, 13x squared, outer, minus 13x, inner, minus 5x, plus 5. Yeah, so this equals 13x squared minus 18x plus 5. It checks out. This one, it has to be 7x and x. And it's minus, so there's 1 of each, and it's got to be a 1 and a 2. All right, now we need positive 13, so I'm thinking plus 2, so I can make the outer 14x, and minus 1 to make that, and we get 7x. I'm foiling. 7x squared plus 14x minus 1x minus 2 makes 7x squared plus 13x minus 2. It checks. 5x squared, so it's 5x and x. That's a very large one. I don't need it that big. And x. And 11 has to be 1 and 11. And it's a minus here, so I'm going to have 1 in each. All right, 54. Well, if I do a negative 11 there, I'm going to get negative 55. I think that's the one, right? Because we get 5x squared minus 55x plus x minus 11. And that makes 5x squared minus 54x minus 11. Check. All right, so the sides of this, one of them, I don't know which is going to be the side right away. So 7x and x, and I need an 11 and plus 1. I'm not sure you know which one is which side here, because if x is 0, it might be different than if x is 2. But these sides have to be 7x plus 1 and x plus 11. Okay, good luck with the homework.